Then today, the story involving Texas men's basketball coach Chris Beard. Shocking story. Earlier today, this is from, I believe, the Riley Gates of On3.com. He had the story that Texas basketball coach Chris Beard was arrested early this morning, and the details was that there was an early morning phone call, and he was at least allegedly strangling somebody. And so that was this morning, and of course, it went viral with what was going on, who was it, what are the reasons, if any ever. And then Jeff Goodman, who's a great friend of the show, with the Field of 68, Texas had released a statement. The university is aware of the situation regarding Chris Beard. We are continuing to gather information and monitoring the legal situation. They're playing tonight against Rice. They're number 7 in the country after the loss last week, but they're playing tonight against Rice. And I know that he has been in front of, I believe, the judge, and there's been updates on that as well. But this doesn't look good in any way, shape, or form. His attorney, of course, has spoken for him, released a statement that this is inconceivable while he was arrested, that the complainant wants all charges dropped. That's his defense attorney. And again, this story hits you right in the face.
Yeah, I've got some more details on this, and thank you to Paxton for sending this my way, this tweet from Tyler Feldman, who covers sports in Austin. He's a $10,000 bond, must remain 200 yards from victim, 200 yards from that house, can text and call in non-threatening manner, and a protection order is in place until February 10th of 2023 for that. And then also a friend of mine sent me the actual little blurb from the police report on this, and at 12:15 a.m., Austin police received a 911 call for a disturbance on the 1900 block of Vista Lane. The caller reported the disturbance was no longer ongoing, and one of the individuals had left the house. APD officers responded and located a woman who stated she'd been assaulted and strangled by Christopher Michael Beard. Beard was booked into Travis County Jail and charged with assault by strangulation, suffocation, family violence, which is a third-degree felony. So all that being said, I cannot envision him not being suspended from his job pending results of the investigation, which will probably be until the end of this year because these things don't go fast.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like nothing happened, right? Sounds like there's plenty that occurred allegedly, of course. I mean, I don't know. It's obviously a bad look, and makes you really wonder about what happened in actuality, and not what some lawyer's saying or what spin there's going to be to this story. We know how that can go sometimes. If something actually does happen, and then everybody realizes like this can damage the job or the brand or the whatever, and there's abusive relationships, and we know how those can go. And so I don't, want to play the speculation game here, but it's obvious to state that this doesn't sound very good at all. And if any of that is true and proven to be true, then he's not going to be the University of Texas men's head basketball coach if they have any dignity, right? I mean, but I also know that's not something that's going to be decided anytime soon. And if, in fact, it turns out through some investigation that this was all a big misunderstanding or this was false allegations, then I hope the person on the other end gets their just due as well. But I don't know where the scales of justice tip in this situation. I know how allegations always sound towards one party, and so I'll give him the benefit of the doubt, but on very flimsy ground, because if there's any indication that he did, then good riddance, dude. But yeah, I don't know really what direction to go other than let's let this play out and see what unfolds, and how eventually those charges are dealt with. But yeah, not a good look at all for him, for Texas. And certainly they've got a red-hot basketball team despite the loss last week. I mean, top 10, they were number 2 up until the loss, and playing a really good brand of basketball. I know that's not the important thing, but it does put them even more in a spotlight because of the fact that they were off to a great start, and now this happens. So, yeah, that's a very interesting kind of out-of-nowhere story, and I hope everybody that was affected in some way is okay today and dealing and managing okay, and hopefully it's the last kind of story we hear of this nature regarding him. But, yeah, not a good look at all.
Well, one of the things, they played tonight against Rice. Texas did release a statement that they were aware of all the situations we saw, and that I'm sure that there's a lot of work being done behind the scenes to try to figure out where this is, I can't imagine he would be at the game tonight. That's the least of any concerns. And whoever is the one who filed the complaint, you hope that whoever that is, that they're doing okay, and this will sort itself out. The defense attorney said and released a statement. He should, as a defense attorney for whoever, of course, in this particular case, is Chris Beard.
Yeah, I will keep my speculative thoughts and certain questions off of the air right now, but it does raise some things with me.
Me too.
And should with everybody. But again, it would be unfair to be wildly speculative towards Chris Beard or the victim right now. And so I do. And I will happily discuss it with anybody off the air. But as far as, going on and saying this, but I am curious to see how the facts come out in this case.
Which a lot of times, because of social media, that is never the case until, of course, it's much further down the road.
Well, I mean, I already see social media speculating on why he didn't get a job this point in time, and maybe that's because they had a background, there's all this speculation that, perhaps other schools who maybe pursued him at one point in time, they knew this, there's this whole again speculation game going on, and yeah, we don't want to play that. We don't know what happened. We weren't there. Again, it doesn't look great, but with stories like this, I mean, you do have to wait and see. As hard as it is to do, especially in today's world, where you want to react instantly to everything. This is a little bit too sensitive a subject matter to do that, and I just hope ultimately that it works out the way it should, not the way it needs to for somebody or some group, but the way it should. If he did something, I hope that's found, and I hope he's punished accordingly for it, and it's not brushed to the side by the school or by the athletic, and then if he didn't do anything, I hope that that's pronounced as well, and he is cleared and completely given a clean slate based on these allegations. But again, that's not something we know one way or the other right now, and they'll have to let this play out. But yeah, it's very out of nowhere and a very interesting story in a lot of ways.
It blew me away. Just like the Mike Leach story. And like Mike Leach, you felt, okay, maybe he passed out, he's okay. And then again, the ending there is horrific. And then appears to be, and now is also with Chris Beard, and whatever Texas does, they'll do their due diligence. The legal matters will take its course, but I got a feeling as far as the basketball right now in his life, that means nothing and shouldn't mean anything. The AP All-American